Let me ask you about the investment for India. $5 billion was outlined for India by 2020. How much of that has already been utilized?
No, we're pretty much on track. We said we will do that by 2019.
Yeah.
We are on track to do that. I think the next phase, we had promised an investment of around $1.7 billion in this fruit-based economy, where we said part of it will go through capital equipment and work with the farmers, and part of it will go in procurement. That's pretty much on track.
So in terms of being able to add capacity, do you feel the need at this point in time?
We are planning very, very closely based on market demand, and we are adding capacity consistently. We have been one of the systems which has added capacity almost every year for the last 25 years of our existence.
What is the big challenge that you foresee in a market like India today?
See, the big challenge we foresee is India as a market, as you know, is a very diversified market. We have multiple ethnicity. We are talking about so many states where different ethnic groups are there. So what will be our biggest challenge is the speed with which we can accelerate this creation of the consumer-centric portfolio.
You know, you spoke to me about the Make in India products for India specifically, but what about, you know, products that have been tested here in India that might do well in other similar kinds of markets? Make in India for the world, is that experiment on?
Yeah, that's the fourth.
Startup?
Correct. That's the fourth pillar which I was going to come to at the end, because we believe we are doing a lot of work which can be taken outside India.
How soon can we expect to see this Make in India for the world take off?
No, it started. We've now moved thumbs up charge outside the country. As we speak, we are working on taking Aquarius glucocharge outside the country. We are looking at Minute Maid smoothies going outside the country. So we are looking at quite a few being taken outside India.
Okay. Let me ask you about the competitive landscape now. And of course, the legendary Coke versus Pepsi battle. You know, how do you view competition today and what they're doing?
See, I've been in this journey for more than 15 years. And I have never viewed this Coke-Pepsi battle as real. This is something which everybody hypes up. For me, I am very focused on the consumer. I respect every single competitor of ours because you learn from competition. Competition helps you to grow the business.
Who's ahead in market share today?
See, we are the leaders in terms of both the NARTD market share as well as the individual categories. But at the same time, I am very respectful of competition because you learn something from them every day.
So what have you learned from them recently?
There are a lot of trends. Like I picked up the trend on glucose from a competitor. Because they had launched the product and then we learned from it. So we keep picking up these sort of trends from others. Sometimes we pick it up ourselves, sometimes we pick it up from competition. So it's good to have a good ecosystem of competitors. You
know, one of the things that competition is also focusing on is how do you make yourselves not just a diversified but also a healthier portfolio in that sense, and that's been the attempt for Coke also. What concerns you about the way that you're seeing the aerated side of the business growing?
See, as far as I'm concerned, I believe health is something which is a very broad word.
Yeah.
So I think our responsibility is going to be give a portfolio which is pretty large, where you start on one side with absolute indulgence going all the way to absolute functionality. With a portfolio like that, we believe we can be relevant. Because my dream and the dream of the Coca-Cola system is how can we be relevant to every one of the 1.3 billion Indian consumers. And creating this portfolio will help.
On sugar, because of course that is the global ask as well, and you know, globally regulators are forcing companies like yours to cut down on sugar, and that's a commitment that Coke made to reduce sugar across 500 bans in 2017. So what's been the outcome of that commitment so far?
So we are working all over the world, and India also we are working. Our idea is to really get into this norm by 2025 in India. And all our new products which we formulate, we really are closer to the norm.
Okay, so which means what? I mean, give me a sense of how much you've been able to cut down on sugar.
See, we cut down in percentages. Some years it goes down by 10%, some years it goes down by higher than that. But the idea is to hit the global norm by 2025.
By 2025. What excites you most about what you're seeing here in the market today?
What excites me quite a lot is the fact that today the Indian consumer is crying for more. Is crying for more choice.
Which means, are we likely to see more of the international offering being blended into the mix here?
We will have both. As I said, we're going to have three parts of the portfolio. One would be global, The second would be locally grown brands which are expanded, and the third would be hyper-local, local creations which are made just for India.
But on the first, how soon can we expect more of the international offerings to make it to India?
I can tell you that we are planning to launch Powerade in the next quarter, which is our global sports drink. In fact, it is available in that first outlet already. So we have done the first runs. So that's the soonest launch you can expect from the global portfolio.
And building out the pipeline in 2019, or will you take it slow?
So we would take it across the country in 2019. We want to ensure that by 2021, we have the first cut portfolio for every part of those 15 elements of the matrix of India ABC and 5 categories. In fact, we have a perfect fruit. You may want to taste it. It's actually the ultimate indulgence, but made out of almost 99.5% fruit.
So this is part of the new offering.
This is a part of the new offering. It will come under the Minute Maid franchise. We have done the beta. Now we are all set to roll out in the first quarter. So this will get linked with our fruit circular economy, where it will be locally sourced fruit, processed, and a product which is 99% plus of fruit.
I wanted to talk to you about this because this dispenser that we see here, one of the challenges that you faced when you re-entered the Indian market in 1993 was how do you get Coke to taste like Coke, because it wasn't cold anymore, and you had to do a lot as far as the logistics and the back end and the distribution was concerned. How much of that continues to be a challenge today?
We've made serious progress. See, in our 25-year journey, we have invested in about 10 lakh of coolers across the country. So in most parts of the country, you would get a chilled Coke. We have also invested in many thousands of equipment which can serve you a chilled Coke in a glass, fountain equipment. And so we have made serious progress from 1993 to now. And we'll continue to keep investing. In fact, down this set of shops, we have now created a machine called the Splash Bar, which for the people who need an affordable serving can get a Coke glass at 10 rupees.
Speaking of India, one of the issues that has been a concern and a challenge for companies like yours has been sustainability. There have been issues with respect to water. How conscious and mindful are you now going to be as you start the journey to the next 25 and beyond that? And what are the specific measures that you've been able to put in place to address some of those concerns?
In fact, we have always been conscious, and we have accelerated it in our second phase. From the second phase onwards, we have started working in the space of water, and today we replenish more than 135 to 140% of water that we use. We have been always conscious of plastic, so we are working on this world without waste, where we are trying to ensure that by 2030 we will recycle every bit of product that we put out in the market. We have always been conscious on energy.
But what's happening in India specifically on the recycling effort?
In India, we have started, in fact, we have done the first pilot in Maharashtra, and it is working very well, and we believe we will be able to scale up in the next couple of years. Then coming into energy, we have been very conscious of it, and most of our bottlers now have a significant percentage of the total energy that they consume in renewable sources of energy.
So back to double-digit growth here in India?
Yeah, we have been having good double-digit growth for the last 5 quarters, and hopefully we will be able to continue.
So what's the aspiration over the next 5 years in terms of numbers?
I think I'm not going to reset the aspiration. James had set it for us with you. We will first step, we would want to become the 5th largest country in the Coke system by volume. And number 2 is, I think, more aspirational, is to really ensure that we have something to be offered to every one of the 1.3 billion Indians.
Well, we wish you the very best of luck, and we do hope that the journey continues towards not just diversification but also basification. Thanks very much for joining us on CNBC TV 18. It's been a pleasure, and we appreciate your time.
Thank you so much. I appreciate all your support and encouragement. Thank you.
Well, with that, it is time for us to wrap up this CNBC TV 18 special. From all of us here, for now, goodbye, and many thanks for watching.